What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and get this. 2 new stimulus checks of $1,400 could be possible, not from the Build Back Better bill and not from new upcoming stimulus packages, but from remaining leftover funds from previous stimulus packages, both from former President Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden. I'm going to get you all the details in today's video, and this is your Build Back Better and stimulus check update. Now, I'm going to be getting into this article that's going to let us know about all these remaining funds we're hearing that actually are still available. Now, we had also heard that they're going to be running out, but there's $800 billion they're saying that is not allocated yet. Now, in addition to that, I've also got some video footage for you on 2 different perspectives in Congress about more stimulus. We're going to be hearing from Senator Ron Johnson, who just came out and said that we don't need to provide any more stimulus. This is sort of coming to an end with the pandemic, and especially the child tax credit, that it is not society's responsibility to take care of other people's children. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. I'm going to share that with you. And also, we're going to be hearing from Senator Bernie Sanders, who said that the progressive agenda is what people want. And he's saying that we need to pass more stimulus, all these provisions. He's saying the way that things have been handled with Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin is wrong. They need to redo their strategy, and they need to make an effort, a push to fight to get out more provisions, more stimulus to help out people at this time. I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage and the articles so you can see it for yourself. Let me know your thoughts on these different perspectives in the comments down below. Now, let's go ahead and dive right in, but first wanted to say also, thank you for all the support on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And if you're somebody that's interested in learning about growing wealth and personal finance, well, I'll pin a comment down below. All you gotta do is click the link, go subscribe, turn on notifications, and I hope that's gonna help out a lot of people with learning about personal finance at this time. But right now, let's go ahead and dive into the latest in economic news, and let's start off by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second, really helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all these different perspectives. Please leave them in the comments down below. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram and shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in, and let's start off with this article about $800 billion in remaining funds that could be enough for 2 new stimulus checks. Alright, so link in the description below to this article that just came out that says unspent funds color debate over additional pandemic relief. And the article says that Democrats anticipate a new White House request for additional funds to cushion the fallout of the lingering pandemic that could pump more money into testing, vaccines, hospitals, and schools. We've also heard for businesses, and a lot of people are wanting to see more for direct payments to people. You guys know that follow me here in the channel. I've been keeping you up to date that in the coming weeks we're hearing there will be more calls for more phases of additional stimulus. But after several previous rounds of relief, including last year's mammoth $1.9 trillion package, any new request is sure to be met with questions about whether existing funds are still available in the pipeline. Well, listen to this, you guys. Of the $5.7 trillion in fiscal support that Congress has provided since early 2020, about $800 billion remain unspent and uncommitted. And just to clarify, the third $1,400 stimulus check that went out, that was roughly a price tag of $400 billion, which means there remains undesignated funds that could provide 2 whole new stimulus checks without adding any additional debt to the economy or hitting inflation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. Should they use that for that? Are there other things that are needed? Should they not use it at all? Let me know your thoughts, you guys. But right now we're hearing that that is still a possibility. There are still remaining funds. Now, in addition to that, we're hearing that there should not be any more additional stimulus provided, that they're concerned about spending, and that is coming from the Republican and conservative perspective. Let's take a look at some video footage of what we heard from Senator Ron Johnson.
On Tuesday, Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin told a local news station he supports a reduction in unemployment benefits. And while he's explaining why he does not think the government should help families find childcare, he said this.
People decide to have families and become parents. That's something they need to consider when they make that choice. I've never really felt it was society's responsibility to take care of other people's children.
Now, Ron Johnson says all sorts of crazy stuff. We'll have more soon about his vaccine comments. But coming out against the children of other people, this is something he's rock solid on.
Parents are responsible for their children, gaining greater control over families. And I think it's pretty basic. I don't see anything controversial about that. We're $29 trillion in debt. I think the last thing we should be talking about is having government spend more money.
Not a mistake. An honest articulation of Ron Johnson's views. If you have a kid, it's your own fault. Just deal with it. And to every parent in Wisconsin, across lines of race and class, who is struggling with the difficulties of this pandemic, juggling everything, know that the message of your Republican Senator Ron Johnson, who is up for re-election in November, is you are on your own. So suck it up, Buttercup.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on that. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to share with you the other perspective, and that is from Senator Bernie Sanders, and he's going to be breaking down all of his thoughts on stimulus and the way forward. Let's go ahead and take a look.
What all of us are trying to do, and we've heard it over and over again this afternoon, is fight for working families, fight for justice, fight for the progressive vision that this country and world needs if this country and if democracy and if decency is in fact going to survive. And I want to just take a second to make everybody remember and appreciate and take pride in how far we have come as progressives in recent years. We sometimes take it for granted. But as Katrina indicated, I helped found way back in '91 the House Progressive Caucus. And frankly, never in a million years would I have dreamed that it would be as strong and as effective as it is today. I want to congratulate Pramila and all of the folks in the caucus for the enormously important work that they have done and are doing. And also, and Katrina made this point, is that to the consternation of corporate America, and in fact, the corporate wing of the Democratic Party, we have significantly changed political consciousness in this country. We have to redefine what is politically possible and, in fact, what the American people want and what they believe. And here is the simple truth, and that is whether you're Black or you're white or you're Latino, you're Asian American, Native American, you're gay, you're straight, you're male, you're female. Poll after poll shows that the progressive agenda, what we are fighting for, is what the American people want. And don't let anybody ever convince you otherwise. Our agenda is the agenda of the working families of this country. At a time of massive and growing income and wealth inequality, and who else but us talks about that obvious fact? The American people do want the big money interests to start paying their fair share of taxes. They understand that it is absurd that two people own more wealth than the bottom 40% of the American people, and that the gap between the very rich and everyone else is wider than it has been in 100 years. They understand that it is unacceptable that huge Wall Street private equity firms like BlackRock control trillions of dollars in assets and have significant influence over hundreds of companies employing millions of workers. In other words, the American people do not like oligarchy, and they want us to stand up to the oligarchs. And the American people know that our healthcare system is dysfunctional, and they want us to lower the cost of prescription drugs, and Medicare for all is gaining more and more support over the last few years. The mantra that healthcare is a human right and not a privilege is gaining support all across this country. And the American people understand that we have got to address the fact that we should be covering dental care and hearing aids and eyeglasses under Medicare. And they understand that we cannot continue to have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. And then we got to greatly improve our child care and pre-K system so that people are not spending outrageous sums of money to simply make sure that their kids are well taken care of. And the American people understand that we have got to build affordable housing in this country, that it is a moral disgrace that 500,000 people are homeless. They want us to end the embarrassment of being the only major country on earth not to have paid family and medical leave. And yes, the American people know that climate change is not only real, but it threatens the very existence of our country and planet, and that we have to transform our energy system away from fossil fuels. And all of these provisions, as I think everybody knows, are sitting right there in this Build Back Better plan. And as again, everybody knows, the House got it passed, but the Senate lacks 2 votes, Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema, to get it passed. And I just want to say a word on that. I happen to believe that the current strategy of the Democratic leadership is wrong. I think that for the last 6 months, we have cajoled, we have begged, we have compromised, we have negotiated, we have sat in back rooms for endless conversations to get these 2 senators to pass, they help us pass the Voting Rights Act, which is so significant if we're going to maintain American democracy, and to pass Build Back Better to protect the working families of this country. And we have failed. We have failed from a policy point of view. We haven't succeeded. And we have failed from a political point of view in the sense that our people, our supporters, are becoming demoralized. And what polls show is that everything continues the way it is. The Republicans stand a good chance of regaining the House and, in fact, taking the Senate. So I think we've got to change course. And I think what we have got to do is what democracy is all about. We got to bring the issues that impact the working class of this country onto the floor of the United States Senate, and we've got to vote. And if every Republican wants to vote against doing all of the things that are overwhelmingly popular that the American people want, they're going to have to go home and explain it to their constituents. And if Senators Manchin and Sinema want to do the same, they're going to have to go home and explain it to their constituents. But what we have got to do now, and do it very quickly, is show the working families of this country that at least 48 of us in the U.S. Senate are prepared to stand with them. We're prepared to take on the wealthy, the powerful, the oligarchs, and we're prepared to fight for a series, an agenda of proposals which meet the needs, the long neglected needs of working families. So that is something that I'm going to be fighting for in the coming days and weeks.
Well, there you have it. That was Senator Bernie Sanders. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as he said that the progressive agenda is what the American people really truly want. Now, let me know your thoughts, and keep in mind the fact that he was one of the ones that had originally been calling for $6 trillion, $7 trillion, $10 trillion in additional spending, wanted to see monthly reoccurring checks, unemployment extensions, an extension of the child tax credit expansion for an additional 10 years, none of which currently has made it into the Build Back Better bill. They're negotiating right now. We will see. But let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with that? Or do you agree with Senator Ron Johnson, who's of the perspective that we need to hit the brakes? Inflation is out of control. We don't need to do additional spending. And we need to get back on track with how things were prior to the pandemic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. But that is the latest. And as more information rolls out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Also, leave your comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. I'll pin a comment down below. You can click it, go subscribe, turn on notifications to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, I'm easy to get a hold of. All you got to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.